lost a chunk of my toe this morning to my roommate's Kingdom Hearts sword, so that kind of sucks.
So let's break that down, because you don't just say you lost a chunk of your toe. You know, there's a process to it. So what exactly happened?
Well, I work a lot right now. I have like 2 days off a week, which everyone out there is going, well, that's normal, but I work double, so my work weeks are usually like 50 to 60 hours, so my 2 days off, I'm usually like fucking dead tired. So I decided to get groceries delivered this morning so I didn't have to waste 2 hours going out and doing some errands. And the dude showed up, and I was rushing to the door to answer it so I could get there before the dog, and my roommate for some reason left a fucking Kingdom Hearts Keyblade replica on the floor, and it's like fucking metal. And I stubbed my toe into it, and at first I thought I broke it because it hurt pretty bad. And then I just looked down, there's blood everywhere. And it managed to like cut like the tip of my toe off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, my neighbor, he used to own a restaurant, did the exact same thing. I was in his basement, I was borrowing something, and he just stepped straight on a nail. Like, it just goes straight through his toe.
Well, I've done that before too.
It's awful.
But I've never done it with the fucking Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts.
That's definitely original. You know, you don't see that every day. God,
I might be the first person in the world to lose a toe to Kingdom Hearts.
So anyway, let's jump into it. Do you want to jump into Cyberpunk first? I know Oh wait, we gotta talk about the games you're playing at the moment. So tell us about what you're playing at the moment. What's going on in the gaming sphere of your life?
Dropped Yakuza Kiwami. Taking a break on that. Picked up New Vegas since we were talking about that a lot last week. Maybe want to play it. That's going pretty good. I'm also playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters. Having a lot of friends over lately, so it's just a fun game that everyone can play and pass the remotes around on.
That's great, yeah. I'm a little curious about what the build you're doing in Fallout New Vegas. So what's the plan? What path are you going down? So I'm curious. You usually do NCR.
Yeah. I'm not really sure if I'm probably going to do NCR because I hate Caesar's Legion. Or as they call it in the game, Kaisar, which that annoys me all to hell. My builds are usually just like light builds, like light armor and just like pistols and stuff.
It's the same thing for me. I usually do stealth, lockpicking, stuff like that I really focus on. It was interesting from my playthrough. I found an old save of a build I was working on maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I just been playing with that again. And I'm really proud of past like 2015 era Zach, because it's a really nice build. Like I got like 15,000 caps. I don't know exactly what route I was planning to go down. I know I just like killed Benny with a machete. I got him into like the pit and challenged him to one-on-one combat. I think that's exactly where I stopped. But I'm very impressed with my build. I know I was getting really obsessed with it. I know I was selling every time I would kill someone. I would sell like everything they had on them. The thing I would do sometimes, if I had too much loot, I would hide some of it on dead bodies and then come back and get it later. I mean, I'm very impressed. That's about it with me.
Yeah, I mean, New Vegas is great. I was looking through the challenges, which I never paid attention to before. And I saw one for killing Benny with his own gun, which I didn't even know was possible. Really? So I'm assuming you have to pickpocket him at some point.
And just
kill him with his own gun, which sounds really fucking funny.
It's an awesome handgun. I know it has like explosive rounds to it, I'm pretty sure. Like it's like this like
Does
cold...
it?
Yeah, it's like a Colt.
I know I've gotten it before. Yeah, it's called Maria, I think.
Yeah, it's like it has all these cool like carvings and stuff on it, and it's just phenomenal. I know they had another gun. It was like this revolver, and it's like like the Perk Mysterious Stranger, which is kind of like if you're like using the stat, aim your gun stuff. Basically, the stranger will appear, and finish the guy off or something like that. So basically,
is that in New Vegas?
That's in New Vegas, and it's in Fallout 4. And
okay, I thought that was only in 4.
I think it's called Mysterious Stranger. But anyway, kind of like you could like be walking down the road and you might run across this guy, and he's like his like son or something, and has his dad's revolver. So like you get this revolver, right? And every time you like take it up, like a little like Western like guitar riff plays. It's like this really powerful revolver. It's awesome.
Oh wow!
So it's like as like you aim the gun to blow up like a scorpion. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know I blew up an armory once. Like, they have this armory in Vegas where they have all these plasma weapons, and it's like blocked by these really like high level guards. So the thing I did was I killed one of them, and I had them all run outside, to chase after me. But there was like nothing but a field of landmines. So like they would like run out to chase after me, and just big explosions everywhere. Just everyone's dead. Just it was great. And that's about it with me. You still playing? I know you were playing a little bit of Xenoverse, which is interesting.
Yeah, they updated it recently to commemorate however many players they have playing it right now.
Ooh, that's cool.
Decided to just finish out the few achievements I have left. I think I'm only missing like 2 from the base game. So just gonna finish those out because one of them was bugged for a long time, and they finally fixed it, so it's pretty easy to get now.
Oh, that's awesome. So I guess speaking of bugs, we could go transition or segue into Cyberpunk being delayed again, but this time instead of it being a long delay, it's only for an extra, I think, 20-ish days now.
Yeah, it's coming out December 10th.
Yeah, it's apparently they're doing this to kind of avoid like a really aggressive crunch period, and they've been saying that in September people were clocking in over 100 hours a week, which is ridiculous. But
I doubt that.
Yeah, that's what it was saying in the article, and I don't know.
100 hours a week?
Yeah, I'm not even shitting you. They're like something ridiculous.
It says that in the article?
It does.
Jesus.
So, like, it's like 100 hours a week, and apparently they're all burnt out, so they just extended it because they want to prepare and test 9 versions of the game. 9 different versions across all the platforms. So, I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, I'm very excited for Cyberpunk. I don't really know much about the game itself. I've kind of made sure that I didn't really know much about it, so I like to do games like Cyberpunk. I really like to go in blind and just experience it. So
I don't think there's much out about it right now.
Man.
I don't think you could spoil yourself if you tried.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. It's probably my most hyped game right now, besides Yakuza 7.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess now we could go talk about the Xbox Series X fridge, which has been kind of like this meme going around. It's true though, and basically Xbox kind of to kind of embrace the meme that the new Xbox looks like a fridge. They created an actual fridge that looks like the Xbox and has sound effects and everything. And they revealed this trailer, I think sometime early last week, and I think it's just fantastic. I mean, they sent a bunch out to celebrities and influencers. I mean, just an interesting marketing campaign. It's definitely different from their 2013 era, marketing, which was, if you don't like it, you can go play your 360. So
yeah, if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think?
Well, it's funny. They had like a giveaway on Twitter I entered, so
who knows?
Who knows? Maybe here in a couple weeks I'll have that big ass fridge in my kitchen.
The intro, you just hear the Xbox power button, just boom. So you go get Dom's tomatoes, which I thought was pretty funny. Just like gear symbol on the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Dom's tomatoes. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, next up on the list, which is as much as we were complaining about Halo, number company bad. Well, basically, we got some more news from 343, a couple actually segments, and this one is about Chris Lee has decided he's decided to leave his lead development position. He's leaving Halo Infinite, which is this is the 3rd top director to leave the Halo Infinite development cycle, which is a little worrying to say the least. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, given Halo's track record, this is either really good news or really bad. Because a lot of people consider Halo 2 to be the best Halo, and that game had a super crazy development cycle, and they really thought that game was going to bomb.
Yeah, they did.
And now everyone regards it as the best, so I don't know. Maybe that'll happen here. Maybe it won't. We get the worst Halo.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the more, people keep leaving, I really think that Halo Infinite's going to launch, next December. A lot of people say spring,
well,
but I don't believe it.
I think a lot of people are reading into it as development's going really bad and people are getting pissed off and leaving, but it could also mean that the game's closer than you think, and they're just not needed for this project anymore.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. I mean, it doesn't have to be all negative, you know. Joe
Yeah.
Staten, one of the creators of the original franchise, has returned and he's working pretty hard on single player development right now, which I'm sure is great. You know, it doesn't all have to be negative. I know another thing that's been happening is that Monster energy drinks, now they have Halo like emblems you can put on your weapons now, which is kind of, I guess, which really raises the question of microtransactions. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? We're going to see microtransactions
Well,
on.
they're obviously in the game.
Yeah, they're obviously in the game, and they're obviously these emblems are obviously going to be on the guns. These emblem skins, whatever you would call it, which I think is interesting. I think this really means for you, Bo, that you need to start hoarding these emblems for your guns. You need to start like hoarding them. Like Gears of War.
I haven't seen any of these like Halo monster drinks out in the wild yet.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, I keep seeing pictures of them all over Twitter of people finding them, but I haven't seen one yet in Florida.
It's interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen any either. I don't know. I think I don't know. I remember in Gears of War, you collected a bunch of these like skins on energy drinks and stuff for the Lancers. Do you remember? What was it like?
Yeah, I think back then they were putting a bunch of them on like I think it was like pizza rolls or some shit.
Uh huh.
Or Rockstar energy drinks.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's just funny. We're going to have to start hoarding weapon skins now. Oh.
Yeah. Well, some things never change.
Yeah, do they? Yeah, they never do. Elder Scrolls, the new Elder Scrolls, it's kind of like the question is it going to be, an Xbox, Microsoft exclusive? Todd Howard has...
Yes. Unless it's no.
Good take right there. Todd
I mean, that's pretty much what they said.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Todd Howard, he's like, I doubt it. He's like, it's not economically feasible, but anything's possible.
I didn't really read it as I doubt it. I read it as he just doesn't know.
Yeah. I think
I'm sure if Microsoft games sell well on their own platforms, it's going to be exclusive.
Yeah.
If they're not selling as well as they thought they would, it's going to go to everything.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think he was kind of looking at it, like what he said was that he's like, he doesn't think it's economically feasible. He thinks it's better to sell to all platforms. And like you said, on the sales and that like Microsoft's doing well, of course they're going to make it exclusive. He also kind of hinted at the idea of, the possibility of maybe Xbox might have some exclusive content, which I think is pretty interesting and pretty obvious at the same time.
Yeah,
maybe,
I could see them doing that.
Maybe they might do like maybe Microsoft users get DLCs early or something like that regard, which I think is pretty interesting. And as Phil Spencer said, it's a case-by-case basis, nothing more. So, I don't know. I mean, that's really it. I think Elder Scrolls is, we haven't seen much of it at all, so it remains to be seen. And speaking of what...
You probably won't say anything else about it for another 3 years.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, they already said it's coming out after Starfield, and we haven't seen shit about Starfield.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
So,
there's nothing about Starfield there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out towards the end of the Series X life cycle.
I would not be surprised either, yeah. Speaking of life cycles, Anthem, apparently they're attempting to revive the game. Which I think is interesting. Yeah. I mean, this is awful. Like, I mean, Anthem, I was excited for the idea of, mech suits, flying around, Tony Stark, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, I knew the game was going to be terrible. I mean, we all did,
Apparently that game was so dead that they just didn't even patch out, like, the holiday, like, decorations in it till, like, March. Like, there was just Christmas lights up in the hub until, like, fucking March.
It's just bad. Like, I know they gave up. It's terrible.
Like, there's no one playing it.
Like, no one's playing it, and I just think that's fun. And I know, I guess the devs are attempting to do it. They're going through this, this complete overhaul of their skill tree. And I was looking at pictures of it this morning, and it's just Destiny. So basically, they're like, how do we get, Destiny, our number one competitor, which has basically grinded us into the dirt, So we gotta, basically try to become them almost. They have, like, legendary weapons, exotics, all kinds of stuff. They're basically copying Destiny's UI, and now they're having mods and artifacts for their weapons. And, I don't know. They're adding apparently primary and secondary weapons, skill point builds. I, I think that
I've never played the game, so I don't know what any of this really means.
Yeah, I haven't either. I was just reading it this morning. They're adding. I don't know. I really don't think they can revive it at this point. I think it just got such negative press when it came out. Everyone was like, well, I mean, that's what you get. It's terrible. And then everyone moved on. And them trying to, rebuild it. I don't know what their strategy is, but, it remains to be seen.
Anything's possible.
Meh.
We were talking last week about the, them potentially putting the money into reviving 76, so maybe they'll do the same thing with Anthem.
I see Fallout 76, though. I definitely see Fallout 76 being revived.
More people play 76 than Anthem, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I could see 76. Like, I could see them maybe doing, like, let's say, hypothetically, New Vegas 2, right? Maybe they have, like, maybe they release New Vegas 2, and maybe...
That just gave me a terrible idea.
What?
What if they make New Vegas 2, but it's just, like, it's in fucking 76?
It's just in 76? I was, like, hinting around those lines that, they have the Fallout, New Vegas 2, right? And then they add the map for 76, but they're two different games. But I doubt it. They could revive it. Microsoft has the capital to revive it. I mean, it just remains if they feel like it's necessary, if they could, they think they could bring players in. I know they've attempted to, like, they've done, like, they had a Battle Royale mode, which I didn't even know, Battle Royale mode in Fallout.
Yeah, I remember them announcing that. That actually made me interested to try the game out, and then I just never did. Yeah. You know what? After this, let's go download 76 because it's on Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah.
We need to try this so we can, like, actually give an opinion on it.
Well, yeah, we do. Anthem, I do not want to try. I just don't.
No, I don't care about Anthem at all.
Yeah, if it gets good in the future, like hypothetically years from now, it's interesting. I'll definitely play it. But at the moment, this like attempt to get looter shooter gamers' attention by adding a new UI, this and that. I mean, I think that game is done. I think it's time to collect your losses, move on. That's my opinion. And speaking of looter shooters, Destiny 2's Beyond the Light DLC comes out. It comes out kind of, I think, on the 10th. Yeah, the 10th. And it's interesting because what Destiny 2 is doing is it's removing a bunch of content. They're vaulting a bunch of like year one Destiny 2 content. They're removing some of the end game raids, some of the multiplayer maps, some of the player versus environment game modes. Yeah. So they're getting rid of all kinds of stuff like that, some of the weapons, and I think they're just putting it away. And this is more that year one, year two stuff is more, I guess, when they were a part of Activision, and I guess their model for Destiny was completely different than what it is now. So they're kind of, and I wasn't really a fan of much of the Destiny year one story or DLC. I thought the DLC was really cheap, and I didn't really like it. But this Beyond the Light DLC has some interesting stuff. I think they're adding a new map on, was it Europa? So like Europa, it's like a it's an ice moon. It's interesting that they're adding all these new like ice abilities for the characters you could play as in the game. And they're adding all these new classes. It's interesting. I mean, honestly, see, I'm excited for it. I mean, I dabble in Destiny from time to time. I'm not really hardcore about it, and I am excited to see a Europa map, some ice, some new content into the game. I don't know, but I think vaulted content is interesting because when we, if we circle back to, let's say, Halo Infinite, for example, if that game is really going to have a 10-year lifespan, we are definitely going to see vaulted content because the game's just going to get too big at a certain extent. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, it all sounds good.
Yeah.
I haven't played Destiny 2 since it first came out. Thought it was fine, but, it's another giant time sink game, and it's too busy to play those games regularly.
I know you did not like Destiny 1. I remember we played the beta years ago, and you told me, this game is bad news. I don't like it.
I honestly don't really remember my thoughts on Destiny 1 too much, but that sounds like something I would say.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, Destiny 1's alright. I don't think it's anything special. I don't know. Devil May Cry is, they're not doing, I don't know, you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, that's something that seems a little bit more in my wheelhouse, so... It's like Devil May Cry 5 is not getting ray tracing support on the Xbox Series S like we anticipated. Mm-hmm. It does have it on the X, though. Well, One thing to note is that the S version will have 120 FPS mode still. It sounds like they're hopeful that it will get it eventually, though. They just can't figure it out right now, I guess. So, disappointing, but I don't know how many more people are going to be getting the S over the X.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how many people this really affects.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Might not be as big of an issue as people think it is.
No, it's interesting, yeah. I was reading about it, and they're kind of optimistic about the future. It might be, added the, I don't know, that kind of technical stuff's more on your end.
Yeah, I mean, ray tracing's really hard to pull off. The it's really geez, can't even think of the words. So really intensive. I don't even know. My mind's gone blank so far. It's just really hard to do. And one of the big selling points of the S was that it's a $300 box and you get ray tracing and 120 FPS and all that. In this small box, you can't do that in a PC for $300, and now one of the big games we were supposed to be getting it for is not getting it.
That's weird.
So, yeah.
I know the Xbox you're getting it's like delayed, right? Then Amazon sent you an email. They're like, it might not come.
Yeah, so it comes out on the 10th, but I got the email from Amazon that said I'm probably not going to get it on the 10th, so
that's a shame.
Not sure if that means I'm going to get it a day later or a week later.
Yeah, that's weird. So,
well, I mean, with COVID, everything's coming later in the mail.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Plus, I don't know if... I'm not sure if they just didn't expect that many people to buy it, or a bunch of them got scalped. I'm not really sure which one it was.
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, it remains to be seen. We'll know the moment you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're thinking about making like a statistic summoning circle. Do you want to get in more detail about that?
A what?
Satanic summoning circle. What's going on about that? I said it wrong. Anyway.
That's what you meant to say. All right.
Yeah, I said it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we got to get Halo Legends 2 somehow.
So, we're thinking, let's walk through the process of a summoning circle. So, what exactly you going to do?
I guess I'm going to go get a bunch of chalk. I'm going to draw a pentagram in my living room. I'm going to put a bunch of Halo-related memorabilia at each point. I'm going to put my giant Halo 2 statue in my living room in the middle. I'm going to chant Phil Spencer's name 666 times, and hopefully Halo Legends 2 will appear in front of me on a Blu-ray.
I was listening to the Halo Legends soundtrack this morning when I read that note. It made me laugh. Yeah, Halo Legends is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal.
I don't know why they haven't done a second one. Like, we've gotten so many someone needs to say, extremely shitty live-action Halo shorts and movies. I'm tired of people pretending they're good. They're not. They're all shitty. There's nothing good about them. And I would rather have gotten a bunch more animated Halo shorts than that. And I don't know why they don't just give us that. Yeah. Like, it could be the shitty, 3D, Ruby looking animation. And that's going to piss a lot of people off. Ruby looks like shit. But I'd rather have Ruby, 3D animation Halo shorts than the shitty live action stuff they've been giving us.
I don't think Halo does good live action. I've never thought that live action was a good idea.
No, it doesn't translate well.
No.
The Covenant are too cartoony looking. They're not you could do Halo live action if it was Flood, and it'd probably look good. But the Covenant are just... They don't translate well to live action. And that's always the worst part of those live action shorts. The Covenant look weird as hell. The Master Chief costume literally looks like a fucking Halloween costume every time. It doesn't look good.
No. I know they were doing I don't think it ever does. I'm trying to think of what was that Halo 4 live action movie they did, or short.
Forward Unto Dawn.
Forward Unto Dawn. Yeah, I didn't think the Covenant looked that good, or Master Chief.
No.
I mean, it was good. I guess Captain Lasky anthology story, but I don't know.
Yeah, sure, but that would have been way better if it was just fucking animated.
Yeah, or both. And
Or a book, yeah.
yeah.
It would have been better as a book.
Speaking of books, so for the past week or so, I've been reading Shadows of Reach. The new Halo book that came out. It's kind of supposed to bridge the gap between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. And I was reading through, and I got a couple ideas, jotted down a couple interesting segments I really like. So Shadow of Reach, it's just interesting because basically the way it works is, if you haven't played Halo 5, spoilers, but basically at the end of the game, Cortana activates all these she goes rogue and activates all these Forerunner Guardians, these big, like, Phoenix-looking type Forerunner technology that are really, dangerous, and they can blow up the solar system. And basically she is taking over the galaxy. And the book's kind of about, like, how, the Infinity is, the kind of big, I guess, super battleship, is kind of like the center of UNSC resistance. So it's this big dreadnought ship. And basically the whole book is kind of how they have to, go back to the basics. They're going to old school, and I think this really plays along with Halo's soft reboot, which they've been talking about. So, the equipment, which I thought was pretty interesting, is all old. It's all old, original. They're kind of, I guess, saying that, like, all the Halo 5 stuff is just gone. It's outdated. Like, they don't want it because the AI can corrupt it, which is interesting. The AI purge all the AI now. They don't use smart AI anymore. They use, like, kind of like dumb AI, kind of like Siri, I guess. So all the AI is dumb, and everyone in the book is deathly afraid of AI, and it's just interesting. So the book kind of takes place on Reach for the most part, and it's called Shadows of Reach. So they go to Reach, and basically the premise of the book at the moment is that they're going. You remember the Halo Reach mission where they get Dr. Halsey and they get Cortana. Basically, they're trying to get to that Forerunner structure on a Reach, and they said that it blew up, but there might be.
I was about to say, wasn't the whole point of that mission to, like, blow it up?
Yeah, but apparently it wasn't completely blown up, or something around those regards. So they're looking around
of course.
And it's just interesting because the UNSC is going back old school. They're using dumb AI. Master Chief, he's he's very, like, I guess he has PTSD. He's like he's old now. He's very disgruntled. He's just kind of depressed the whole book, which I thought was pretty funny. He's kind of like Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War 4, and he's like, and he grumbles.
Oh my god.
It just, I don't know, I was enjoying it so
just
far.
Old man Chief, yeah.
So, Atriox is, obviously on, his, the Banished, the new enemy in Halo Infinite, is looking for this, this Forerunner structure. So basically, it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. Chief is kind of portrayed, like the men that are with Chief at the time, they kind of like look up to him almost as a living god. And it's kind of interesting, kind of that dynamic. Chief really is indifferent to this. He really never cared what people thought about him. But kind of during this book, he kind of turns around on it. And he's trying to mentor these new young soldiers because he's starting to think that his time's running out and that he's going to die. So it's just interesting stuff right there. The UNSC, which I think is pretty funny, they kind of label Cortana, it's called Pax Cortana, which is Latin for peace. So they like call her like Pax Cortana, and they don't like want to even mention her name because they think like computers or AI are gonna like send a link to Cortana. They're all really paranoid about it. And then the Banished call her the Apparition, which I really like. So it's just interesting lore stuff right there.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yeah, and then like the Banished, they use like apparently they have like a gravity axe, not a hammer and axe, a gravity axe. I don't know if this is going to be in Halo Infinite or not. I think this might be just with the lore. They have like this weird anti-tank gun with a bayonet on it, which I think is ridiculous, but it's pretty brute-like, So, and then the US, like the UNSC, they're using all this like radar technology, and they're trying to block out like old satellites and stuff because they think Cortana is going to, like hijack and spy on them. And basically, and then they also talk about how the Banish is bigger than they thought. Like it's actually a really big organization. They like somehow got together, Truth's like super carrier and stuff. Somehow they survived the events of Halo 3. It's just stuff like that I thought was pretty interesting. And I don't know what to think about it. I think it's interesting that they're trying to revive the whole like Cortana going rogue arc, which I wasn't really a fan of, and I know you weren't either. You weren't really a fan
No.
of like the Halo. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it sounds like they're trying to fix the direction they went in 5, I guess.
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say till we see Infinite.
Yeah.
What you're telling me sounds cool, though.
Yeah. I was impressed if I was writing this stuff down this morning. I don't know. And this is kind of, I'm like almost halfway through the book right now. So our next episode, I will, talk about the finale and basically my final thoughts on the book. Oh, that's about it with Shadows of Reach. The new season of Mandalorian launched, which is exciting. I know you hate Mandalorian. You do not like Baby Yoda, and you did not like the filler episodes, which I understand.
No, hate's about right. I was gonna say I don't hate it, and I was like, no, I do kind of hate it.
So
no, I only hate it because it's exactly what I wanted in Star Wars media, and they somehow fucked it up again.
Continue with that thought. So,
no, because I'm so fucking tired of like Jedi and all that kind of shit in Star Wars stories. I'm like, it's such a huge universe, but everything fucking revolves around the Force. And like, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, that's a big part of Star Wars, but like, we can do stories where that's not the focal point. And The Mandalorian starts awesome. There's like no like mention of the Force at all, and then all of a sudden they shove Baby Yoda into the story, and it just turns into a show about babysitting plus the Force. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And everyone's just eating it up because Baby Yoda. It just makes me angry.
So the whole episode's about the Mandalorian. He goes to Tatooine. And it's kind of implied that he's looking for a fellow bounty hunter, Mandalorian, to raise, Baby Yoda. They're trying to get Baby Yoda back to its people. So he goes to Tatooine, right? And he's trying to look for this bounty, this Mandalorian. And he doesn't find any. So what he does find is this guy who kind of stole Boba Fett's armor. He bought it off a bunch of Jawas. And he's kind of like the sheriff of the town who's guarding it. And he says that he goes up to Mandalorian and says, I will give you back the armor, because I guess it's like against a religion that had regular people have Mandalorian armor. He said, I'll give it back if you help me kill this big doom worm that's eating my people in the desert. So they have this interesting this big battle against this big doom this big dune worm boss, which I enjoyed. And I thought it was just a pretty good introduction, I guess, into the new season. I liked it. And then they had, and then at the end of the episode, they had Boba Fett. He made he's making an appearance in the season. They got the guy who played Jango Fett back in the early 2000s during the Clone Wars. They got him in it. And it's Tamora Morrison, that's him. And I don't know, I thought it was pretty exciting to see, him back in the movie. I know, it's just interesting. I liked it. I thought the first episode was fine. I mean, it was, I guess, a filler episode. But, that's really my thoughts on it. I mean, it remains to be seen. But I think the season's really going to be pretty interesting. I mean, that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about Games of Gold? Oh, no, wait. We got to talk about the High Republic. We got to talk more about how much we hate the new Star Wars direction, how they talk about High Republic, which I can't do. Because the High Republic era is the era, I guess, where there's no Sith, and it's just Jedi, just, I guess, fighting space vandals, which I think is just, I don't know what they're thinking. The Old Republic, I think, would have been phenomenal. The Revan, you remember Revan. I think the trilogy like that would be awesome. Old Republic. That would be an actually good movie, franchise to see Sith, powerful, but it's like, well, what are we going to see? A bunch of Jedi, just a bunch of space wizards running around, just blowing stuff up, fighting, I don't know. I think it takes out a core element of Star Wars, and I don't know exactly why they're doing it, but I'm really disappointed with, I guess, the way it's going. I mean, High Republic. I mean, they could have picked any other era, because I know Sith, I think they're driven to a point of extinction or something. So there is only one Sith left, so it's basically just Jedi. That's it. It's Jedi running around.
Yeah, they probably just don't want to deal with everyone bitching about how non-canon or
Something maybe around
some
those
stuff
regards.
is.
Yeah, I
Like,
just think it's going to be
they
terrible.
probably just want to do something that hasn't really been done before.
I'm sure. I just think Old Republic would be better. That's all I'm saying. I know you agree. I mean, you've been wanting a new Old Republic type game, nice Old Republic games. For a while.
No, yeah.
I don't know.
I'd love that kind of stuff, but they'll never do it because it's actually a good idea.
Do you want to go over Games of Gold and Game Pass?
Sure, so let's see. Games of Gold for November. Let's see, November 1st, we're getting Origami Shadow Edition.
Mm-hmm.
No idea what that is. Swim Sanity, November 16th. I've actually seen a little bit of that. That looks kind of interesting. I think it's co-op. So, something new for all the couch co-op people out there. Lego Indiana Jones, November 16th. Another good couch co-op game.
Big fan of that.
Played that.
I played that as a kid. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Alright, so Game Pass for November. We have Celeste. That's coming to everything. Celeste is a really good indie platformer. Comanche is coming to Game Pass on PC. It's like a helicopter military flight sim. Looks like a lot of fun. I was watching some gameplay of it yesterday. I think I might check that out. Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah,
that's coming to everything.
Yeah, that looked pretty interesting.
I've never heard of that before, but I looked up some gameplay, and apparently there's a lot of YouTubers who are playing it for a while.
Oh, it looks interesting. Yeah, it comes out November 5th.
Yeah.
And then we got
East Shade coming to everything. Knights and Bikes. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think it's like a game about kids that are going around their bikes, like solving mysteries and stuff. It looks interesting.
Are they knights?
I don't know. I guess you have to
called
play
Knights and Bikes.
I bet they're knights. I bet they get knighted at the end of the game. I don't know.
All right,
I'll have to check it out.
One way to find
out.
Also, Ark Survival Evolved Explorers Edition. Just more Ark.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. You ever get into Ark Survival Evolved?
No, I really wanted to when it first came out, but my computer couldn't run it, or the game just wasn't very well optimized. It's probably both. Because I know that game is notoriously hard to run, and not even for any good reason. It's just not a very well optimized game.
Yeah.
So, no, the universe kept me from playing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is sometimes. You want to play this game, and it's just. You remember when DayZ first came out on Steam, the standalone game? Yeah,
Yeah, is that what we played, or did we play the mod?
No, we played the DayZ standalone. I know that game was start off with a lot of bugs. I know it was one of those early 2014 early access traps. I don't know. I remember that was the early access mess we got into.
Yeah, I think that's one of the first real early access games I remember.
What was that? And then I know they had Rust
on Steam Greenlight, right? That's what they called that.
Oh yeah, and then they had Rust and stuff. All these games, all these big games, just early access traps. I think a very few of those games that went early access actually finished their development cycle.
I think quite a few of them did, because I'll notice some of them just pop up on Xbox every now and then. I'm like, whoa, what? I remember playing this 7 years ago on Steam. What is it doing here?
I know the game The Forest. I remember I got that on Steam.
That's one of those.
Yeah.
I remember seeing The Forest just pop up on Xbox or something.
You're
I was what the hell? This is old. What do you mean this is new?
It's an interesting game, though. I know they had a really interesting cannibal mechanic. They would spy on you and stuff, and they would get aggressive if you attack them. I don't know, just interesting that they would I don't know, it's I guess a little more sociology. They would walk up, probe. You could get really aggressive, behead them, put their heads on spikes, and then they would freak out or get scared. That's weird. It's definitely a weird game. Interesting though, and I know they added an ending to it too. I think recently, not recent, but within the past year or so. Yeah, that's one of those interesting early access games. Definitely. Is there any other?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other early access games we played. Was that Castle Miner Z? Does that count? What's early at? No.
No, we played that on like the indie store on Xbox.
I love the store. Like, I love those.
A lot of weird shit on there.
I just love the weird
I remember downloading this one game that literally, I think it was like 50 or 99 cents or no, I think it was like 99 Microsoft points because it was back when they were still doing Microsoft points. Mm-hmm. And I remember me and my friend Ryan at the time were like just looking through it. We found this one game that was like, it literally, the whole point of it was it just made your controller vibrate. It was supposed to turn your controller into a vibrator.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
There was so much weird shit on that store.
There was like weird, like, I know there was this one game. It was about like slaying vampires. It was super creepy. You know, it was like you had to run around with like a sawed-off shotgun. Of course, it's in that weird like what was it, Unity engine? You know, like Minecraft clone. Almost.
It wasn't even Unity,
no?
Because I don't think Unity was a thing back then.
No, something around those lines. I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know what they were using, but they all looked similar.
Yeah, and it always has that like Minecraft-esque feel. Everything's brick. I remember that, and I remember what was that horror game? That was that co-op horror game, which I always thought was a contradiction to have like 4 friends in a horror game.
Oh, are you talking about
what was it, White Noise? White Noise.
Yeah, it was like the Slender Man like ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that White Noise. Yeah.
I just thought it was bizarre how you know, a game like that, I guess the co-op had some fun to it, but I don't know. Horror games, I guess they're usually, you know, just you walking around in the dark hallway and eventually someone like comes up behind and eats you. It's terrifying. I know. What was it? What's that game? Dead by Daylight. That's not. I guess that's more. I guess fun, but that's an interesting game right there. We're talking more. I guess horror-esque, but that's not.
Yeah, I love Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
I play that all the time with my sister and a couple friends.
That's fun. Yeah. It was a pain in the butt though, but it's fun. Like especially when like the monster, you know, like walks by and you're just like sitting there frozen, just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Tell me more about your Fallout playthrough.
I mean, the build was old. You know, it was an old build from a couple of years ago. Surprisingly had the save. I just had a lot of armor, a lot of loot collected. I'm either contemplating about just finishing the playthrough. Because I know the thing I did with that playthrough was I was very, I would do every possible scenario for a quest. Like if there's 3 different options, I would do a hard save and do each different option and then save beyond that point. So I know they had the, you know, like the prison. I forget what it's called, but they had
Powder Gainer one.
Yeah, the Powder Gainer one. There's like 3 different, I guess, options for it. I know one, you could join them, or B, you could like rat them out to the NCR, and the NCR will like pay you to assist in taking over the prison. And it's interesting because the thing they do is like you have to get dynamite and you have to blow up the walls. It's like this big raid. So the thing I did was I played it, I think, 3 times or twice. I told them about the raid, and I went and then I joined them, blew up the Powder Gangers. And then the second time, I joined the Powder Gangers and put down the NCR raid. I just, like, flipped sides, killed them all. I know a lot of that stuff is cut content. You know, a lot of the different options I know they took out of the game. Like, I know they had a big Caesar's Legion path, which I think would have been pretty interesting, where they had I know they had like this like one part. I think they had a concept where they wanted you to see like average Legion citizens, you know, how they're kind of, I guess, because Caesar, you know, has complete control of everything. They kind of live like with basically they're treated with neglect. You know, no one bothers them. They kind of just live, I guess, in peace. You know, and then they want to like show more detail about the slavery stuff like that. I know they had a different Brotherhood of Steel path as well, where the Brotherhood, you know, you can join them. I know the Brotherhood by that point is kind of reduced to, you know, just those bunkers. I don't know, stuff like that is interesting, you know, to see what could have been. I don't know, I really like the freedom.
I honestly didn't know that there was that many choices for the Powder Gainer prison, just because in all my playthroughs, every time I show up there is just to get the sheriff for Prim, and, or not Prim, I think it's Novak, or not Novak.
I think it's Prim? I'm pretty sure it's Prim, yeah.
Yeah, I always show up there to get the sheriff for Prim, and I end up just killing everyone. Because when I was younger, I just wouldn't even read the dialogue options. I just smashed through it.
Yeah. I know usually when I went up to the prison, it would just kill everybody, get the sheriff, or kill the sheriff, one or the other. I know they have different options for the sheriff. You could get like a robot to run the town, weird stuff like that, which I like. I like the options you had in Fallout New Vegas, which you really don't have in Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was kind of like yes or no. And I don't think they really had much of a bad guy path. It was kind of like each faction had their own ideas, and you could kind of decide which, I guess, on your moral compass or whatever you're feeling like. But they had the Institute, the Railroad, the Minutemen, I think the Brotherhood, right? I think there's 4 different in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting stuff. I mean, but I don't know. Fallout 4, they definitely took out a lot of, I guess, the narrative decisions you could make in the game. Like they didn't really have, I guess, a raider path. I don't know. I remember I definitely put a lot of time into the settlement mechanic in Fallout 4. And, like, I built these really big structures.
Yeah, it's a shame, because the settlement thing, a lot of people hate. I was excited for it, and I kind of ended up hating it too, but not because, like, it was even there, just because, like, it's kind of useless. Like, it doesn't really do much.
Yeah, I think the problem with it is that they first said it was optional. They kind of hinted at it during their reveal that it was kind of like an optional decision you could do. And then they said, then it kind of was when you play the game, it's kind of mandatory. And, yeah, you're right. Like, there's really not much it gives you. I guess you have traders. I know you could run, like, traders in between your settlements, but it's nothing that, I guess, special.
I mean, its main benefit is just once you get the trader set up, your stuff, it doesn't matter which settlement you go to, all your stored items will be there.
Yeah, but
that's like pretty much the main benefit to it. Besides that, it's useless.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. I just think they did it wrong. I know in Fallout 76, I know it was just heavily on that grinding for the build your big base, and I'm pretty sure the bases didn't even save for something weird. I don't know. I know Fallout 76 they added AI now, like AI story choices. Like they're starting to add stuff. Fallout's definitely an interesting franchise, and I really think it has a lot of parallels to the Halo franchise. One's an RPG and one's a shooter. Really, in how expansive their game library really is. Both franchises. I know we gotta play. The more I read about Shadows Reach, the more we gotta play Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, definitely need to knock that out before Infinite.
Yeah, Atriox, I'm starting to have a lot more respect for Atriox. I kind of thought it was more of this, like, it's one of those typical, bad, alien bad. But I don't know, he's kind of interesting. Like, all these warlords are running around, they're, like, killing each other. I don't know. I always like the Brutes.
No, I'm not gonna. From what I've heard, he sounds like a swell guy.
Swell guy, yeah. I just love the Brutes. They're just, like, running off, like, killing everybody, like, giving it to Atriox. They're like, we're gonna, like, kill Master Chief for you. It's just fun. I don't know.
I mean, I doubt they're gonna do it, but one of the most exciting things to me about the Banish is that potentially, like, humans could join it.
Mm-hmm. I agree, yeah.
I know they're not gonna do that because they want it to be a T-rated so that they can get as many kids playing it as possible. But I would love to have a Halo Infinite where, like, just a bunch of humans are like, yeah, you know what? We probably would be better off if we just joined with the monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting there. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting how they let all the factions in. It's not just, like, a horde running around. Because, I don't know, I could definitely see, like, on some, like, far-off worlds in the Halo universe that it might be feasible, to be under protection of the Banish and the UNSC.
Atriox kind of just seems like Arbiter if Arbiter stayed, like, an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Arbiter didn't join forces with you, he seems like he has, like, a really similar character path.
Yeah.
And that's cool to me because Arbiter is easily the best character in Halo.
Oh, I agree. I like how it's kind of Halo 2 cuts immediately after, to the trial. It's kind of like his redemption arc. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah. I think Atriox, though, he definitely, I don't know, he's definitely better than, the Halo 4 bad guy, like Drew Mandama or whatever. Like, he's definitely a bad guy that is respectable. And it's interesting. It's interesting how he's able to unite all these Covenant forces. And I used to really not like, how the Covenant collapsed and you're just fighting, more of the same. I was starting to find it a little more interesting how all these different, like, war boards are, like, vying for galactic control. I think that stuff's really interesting. And, how an Atriox, I guess his goal, is to seize control of the Halo rings for obvious reasons. But they're definitely an interesting faction, and we definitely got to play Halo Wars and see what they're all about.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So, sounds like to me from this episode we need to play some Fallout 76 and Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, we do.
So we should probably get both of those downloaded so we can actually talk about them more in depth.
Yeah, I would like to do, especially Halo Wars. Halo Wars I'm very interested in. Fallout 76 I am, to a certain extent, but I feel like we're going to run into a bunch of glitches and just leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it by the way, so I just you know what? I'm done.
Very well could be.
It literally could be like we built this really nice base, right? Really big base, and we just look up, someone drops some nuke on us. I just hit the Xbox power button. I'm going to bed. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's it for now. We're really trying to figure out a template for this podcast because we've just, we've never done this before, and it's just something to do on the side to keep us busy.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of tutorials on audio editing and Premiere, and I feel like the difference in quality from the first episode to this one is it's noticeable. I think it's pretty good.
I agree.
And I'm hoping from this one to the next one, it's going to keep just getting better. And hopefully by episode 10, this will be a lot easier to listen to, have more structure to it.
Because
we'll figure out how to talk normally so it's not as awkward.
So basically what we went down today is we went down the list of news, clips, something just interesting going on, I guess, in the game ecosystem. And we came out with some, interesting topics. It's just, I don't know, I don't think they were as content heavy as we were expecting. There's only so much to talk about, with Cyberpunk, getting delayed, an extra 20 days. It's stuff like that, that we probably got to prepare more. I generally think we did better than last week. I think as long as we're, ambitious and we keep doing it, we're bound to get better. But
yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's something to do. Keeps us busy.
Oh yeah. There's only so much like Fallout 76.
So say we need to play it so we can actually talk about it more.
I know. It's the thing though.
Properly shit on it.
Because here's the thing though. It's like there's just parallels to it that we need to get into. I don't know. We definitely will play them. We won't download it at the moment. We get this video up. Anyway, any closing statements you got?
No, not really. Actually, you know what? I do have one.
Sure.
It's not even a closing statement as much as a closing rant.
Sure.
I cannot wait for tomorrow to get here so we can find out who the next president is going to be so I can stop getting these fucking text messages every day asking me if I'm going to vote, who I'm voting for, will you please vote for this person, blah, 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 blah. It is so fucking annoying, especially since we constantly getting text messages from work, and I don't know what's from work, what's from a bot, and I have to check my phone constantly, and then it's just someone like, oh, hey, it's George, are you voting for Joe Biden?
It's like, please stop.
And it's like, please stop texting me, man.
The whole, go out and vote, it's getting a little aggressive. I know my friend who's in law school at the moment, tomorrow they are, suspending all classes to go out to vote. Law school, they're like, voting's more important. Go out there. It's weird. My class, one of my online classes, they did a whole 45 minutes on how to send a ballot. How to send a letter, basically. 45 minutes of this stuff, and it's it's just gonna be a whole migraine that I would love to just Master Chief style go into cryo and just wake up when it's over. Just deep.
Well,
cryo.
It ends tomorrow, and I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Well, anyway, I think that's it.
I'm gonna go download Fallout 76.
Okie dokie.
And possibly pull my hair out.
Sounds good. All right.